Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. I apologize for the delay. We are trying to get all the entire group, but then again, we saw the time and it's getting really too late, and we don't want to keep waiting for so long for just one certain person. He know who he is. He'll join us. Everybody will know sooner or later. But we can't wait. We can't have our guests waiting like this, just having to talk with us and not share, being live, having you guys to see him and like appreciating his appearance and and everything to talk about for the new studio of Concept Moon Studios. So, you know what, guys? We're gonna start. Our last remaining guest, oh, I'm sorry, our last remaining co-host will come in later. So when he comes in, he'll comes in. So we're just gonna go see us right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Anime Lately podcast. I am your host, Sam the Manga Man. I am here, and here with me are my brotakus. Introducing first, he is the host of C4S Spoilers. He is also the CEO of Careful Spoilers Podcast Network. He also is the host of Careful Spoilers' new show, C4S Villains. Founder of the Ono Anime No Life Facebook group, he is JB, exclusive the invincibly talented James Barnes. Our next Anime Lately Brotaku, he is our monthly Saturday night Dungeon Master Jesus for our Dungeons and Dragons with Petty God and the Non-Believers. He is the editor for SSA Worldwide Network, the inside of the My Blur podcast, Spicy Lady podcast, Entertainment podcast, and of course, the Anime Lately podcast. He is also the host of the Osan A podcast. He is Laburu, the Ninja of Apocalypse, the son of Darkseid, a Kang variant, a co-host for C4S Villains. Ladies and gentlemen, kneel before the absolute, the inevitable, and sensational Prince Allah! And last but certainly not least, our sister on the Anime Lately team, the boss of Spicy Lady Entertainment, the conversation of Spicy Lady Talks podcast, the iconic gamer of Spicy Lady Gaming, a fighter for diversity, representation, and entertainment. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome for the lovely lady, Spicy Lady Ashanti. And now for our special guest. So everyone, there are worlds beyond even those exist in this reality and the next. Worlds not of energy and matter, but of thought and mind. This world was created in 2017, a world that facilitates for readers both young and old to explore new original worlds from noir to superheroes to fantasy sci-fi and everything in between. A world with a vision that expands and explores every avenue of literature of all kinds, filled with amazing writers, spectacular artists, and ultimate marketeers. This world, well, this isn't exactly a world. It is a moon, in fact. We have one of these amazing mangaka from this moon named Concept Moon Studios, and he is the mangaka for Black Lotus Dragon manga. He is here to talk about Concept Moon Studios' new manga coming soon, Afterimage. When there's something strange in Fort City's hood, who do you call? Ladies and gentlemen, you holla for Keith Watkins! How are y'all doing?
Well done, Sam. Well done.
Hey, as always.
Yeah, very well done.
No.
I am known for my intros.
Yeah.
I've never had an intro like that, so I appreciate it.
Yeah. You know, Ray, since Ray's not here, I'm going to take the role of Ray for a hot second and be like, if y'all have a problem with Sam's intros and his stellar work, y'all can fight me. Y'all can legitimately fight me. I don't know if Ray would actually say that, but I'm saying.
He said it before, though.
He would, yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, so me and Ray are in agreement. That being said, I will now deviate from Ray and just say, hey, I appreciate having you on here, Keith. It's fun. It's great to see you again. Get to pick your brain again in new platform, new cast. The one of the topics of today, I'm definitely excited to talk about. But other than that, my week's been busy. I mean, I pulled an all-nighter last night, so I'm probably gonna pull another one tonight. We'll see. But the weekend is almost here, so I'm happy.
We're all waiting for that weekend, and soon, like tomorrow is TGIF.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I can't wait for Saturday. I'm going to the shop on Saturday because I haven't hit the shop up since I moved out to the Bay. So I'm definitely excited to hit the shop and get some recreational.
Some really good titles out, man.
Oh no! I didn't mean that shop. I didn't mean that shop. I still need to hit up that shop too. But this is the
yeah, right. I was like,
Keith knows what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
I was like, yeah, you need that new country coming.
But yeah, like no.
If you're in the Bay now, I got some places I can recommend you to.
Oh,
so hit me after.
definitely.
For comic books, kids. For comic books.
Yeah. Of course, for comic books.
My god.
It's been so weird because it's been about 3 weeks now, and usually I go to the shop, at least maybe every 2 weeks, and so I haven't. So none of the new titles since I've been feeling like a deviant. I feel like I'm a terrible person. So there's a lot of comics I need to cop. But priorities. There's business must be taken care of first, and so Keith, I will hit you up afterwards.
Yeah, man, I got you.
So guys, it's Mental Health Day, but then again, every day is Mental Health Day. We always have to keep checking all of our mental health. So instead of like how you doing, what are you doing, how about how you're doing, Keith? How are you? How's the mental health and everything?
I'm pretty good. I've been a little tired lately, but that kind of comes with the grind. So, other than that, I'm pushing through. On all other facilities, I'm good. So, I could use a little extra rest. I'll probably take a little extra rest this weekend. But outside of that,
there we go.
Everything's going the way I need it to.
From the TLC in the comic book shop, yeah.
Yeah. That T and C type. That one for sure. That one.
Yeah, man, exactly. That's all I need to relax.
But yeah, we're so glad that you're here representing Concept Moon, and not only are you a mangaka for your own manga from there, you also are promoting new manga that's coming out called Afterimage, and we all had a sneak peek, and we all love it right now. And you guys in the live chat and whoever else is listening, you guys are definitely in the treat for once it comes out. Definitely, I want to start out with first. Can you let us know about the Kickstarter first for the product as well?
Yeah. So Afterimage is the newest book we have coming out. We're launching a Kickstarter for it on October 1st. We'll have a ton of. Well, the book obviously will be available physical and digital, and then we'll have a bunch of different types of merch with Afterimage on them, t-shirts, hoodies. We have some backpacks. We got playing cards. Like it's going to be a ton of stuff. You definitely won't want to miss
playing cards. You said
no, he has a backpack.
I mean that's 52 cards. That's 52 different images right there. So.
Oh, wait. Oh, you meant like cards? Because I just recently, I haven't opened these yet, but I recently started getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh. So are we talking about trading cards for Afterimage? Because
playing cards, playing cards with Concept Moon characters as the face cards.
Ace 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King.
Man,
Yeah.
So we can play spades and speed with
Yes, exactly. You can play spades and speed with Concept Moon characters.
I need them.
Yeah, we had done a kind of a small run of them And then I went to this pop-up shop that we had a booth at, and they kind of sold like crazy. So we were like, we might as well just bring them back. We had some people come to the booth, and they didn't even buy books; they just bought the playing cards. so we were like, okay, this is definitely something we need to bring back. But yeah, so Afterimage Kickstarter, October 1st. A ton of different things will be available. It'll be running the entire month of October. And then for people who are new to Kickstarter, money doesn't leave. You can make your pledge, but money doesn't leave your account until the Kickstarter is over. So, you can pledge whatever, and then, you don't got to worry about having it right at that moment. As long as you got it by the time the Kickstarter's done, and it's all good. But yeah, it'd be very special. Also, something that we haven't actually really talked about a whole lot, but in the back of Afterimage, we're also going to be including another mini comic called Living Weapons Program, and that might only be exclusive to the Kickstarter. I gotta double check to see, but so when you get Afterimage, you also get Living Weapons Program, so you kind of get 2 for 1.
Oh, bet that. Okay, so I have to ask this question.
Sounds like a great deal.
Who's on the ace? Which character from Concert Moon is going to be ace, and who's going to be the king, who's going to be the queen?
So I know the queens, we have all female characters. So
should be
one of the queens is April from Black Lotus Dragon.
Hey.
I wish I had a deck in front of me so I could just read them off. I know Stringer from an upcoming book is one of the queens. Man.
So we get sneak peeks
really
to future projects with these cards then, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. I like that. That's fun. Yeah. All right. Who's trying to see me in speed though? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Bring it.
None of y'all? Oh, JV, word?
Bring it.
JV.
Hey, bet that. Okay. Get these hands. Wait, baby, let's go.
So yeah, since we're on the topic of talking about Afterimage, I think it's a good time to talk about the series right now. What can you tell us about Afterimage for the fans, the people, the listeners in the live chat? Of course, we've all read the first chapter. We got that sneak peek. We got that we got that privilege exclusive.
Yeah, you guys got the exclusive first look.
But what can you tell us to the fans?
So Afterimage is our newest hero. He's a teen hero. He's kind of still kind of figuring his way through his powers. He's that kind of snarky, quirky, witty, young teen hero, kind of like a Static or a Miles Morales. His powers are he has short distance teleportation, so he can move himself kind of freely. And when he moves, he leaves an Afterimage. So, as you guys saw in the book, when he moves, there's an image still there. So the villain attacks the image, and he's already, in a new location. And then he has his close buddy Overwatch, who is a technokinesis, I think is the word.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's got a power where she can manipulate different types of technology to a certain extent. And both of them are teens who are kind of figuring their way through the world while also figuring their way through their powers and also dealing with, the regular teenage stuff in life that you deal with. So, yeah. And they're both kind of vigilante. They're not, necessarily in a hero organization or anything like that. They're just doing this on their own and figuring life out at the same time.
Or
sounds like teenage dramas, the usual teenage dramas.
I mean, because you graced us with exclusive access, I have a question. Who's the artist and who's the colorist? Because they killed that joint.
Man,
That
so
issue 1 was sexy as hell. Y'all, when I say sexy as hell, I mean sexy as hell. Like, I thought the Kevin Feige had talked to Marvel and been like, yo, send the homies a fresh copy of the new
Close.
project. Let them know. I mean, y'all got Marvel Connects, y'all got DC Connects. What's up?
So let me I'll pull up the full list so I don't miss nobody. So the cover artist is Takia Marie. I believe she has done some work on some Marvel and DC covers before.
Dope.
Pencils, inks, and colors is Mohammed Sarudin. He is a comic artist we have on staff for Concept Moon. He's done the art for Afterimage, obviously, but he's also done Frontline Soldiers, our other series. He did the art for, I want to say he did the art for Living Weapons Program. I would have to double check that, to be honest. But he's one of our trusted artists. So we go to him for all of our comic style stuff. The writer, we got Robert Jeffrey II, who also has done some work for Marvel and DC. Amazing writer. He did a great job with this book. And then obviously the creator of Afterimage is our CEO and founder, Brandon Diddley.
Hey, shout out to Brandon, yo. Miss you, baby.
Yeah, man. Amazing idea from him, man. That guy just churns out great ideas, idea after idea. So, man, Afterimage is definitely one that's amazing.
Yeah, like I was saying before we started, like I really like the action sequences. Like I always imagine like how hard it is to convey a fight with, especially depending on the type of powers that each person has, to convey that on a comic book panel. So I was really like that. It's really sick.
Yeah, and
Spicy, go after you.
oh look, we were talking before too, where I was like the dialogue's really good, and I love like the artwork. And when you said like you got actual veterans from DC and Marvel, I was like, I saw that while experiencing this. Like I loved it. And you see so much inspiration from obviously like DC and Marvel, also like static, old time static on milestone times with the color scheme and like the jacket and even the personality traits. I even got like a Miles and Riri relationship from Khalil and LL. So I just loved reading it. The dialogue was really easy to read because I think it added a lot of personality in what a lot of characters were saying. They weren't just spewing out, stuff. There was heart behind what they were talking about. That's what I really loved about the series.
Yeah, there was definitely.
Yeah.
I get the DC comic book vibes from reading during this first chapter for sure. A lot of like dark images and the dark background, and that's what you get. You want to keep for a DC comic. Literally get that Gotham City kind of dark vibe in the city, but also it's like I have that Static Shock kind of feeling. So I'm thinking like, is this Detroit in a way? In this stuff? Because like that's how.
Yeah.
Sorry, go for it.
Yeah. Fort City is kind of our like our Gotham or Metropolis in a way, where a lot of, well, obviously Afterimage is based there, but there's a lot of action in the Concept Moon universe that goes through Fort City. So we definitely wanted to establish a look where it's like, okay, there's some things that go on here. So and you'll see in other books that Fort City is a very kind of important staple city within Concept Moon. So I'm glad you guys picked up on that for sure.
I saw the street name. I saw the building.
Well, in that case, I have just two things to say. I called dibs on the politician. I don't think we know her name. We don't know. Sanderson, yeah, I called dibs on her.
I like her.
And then of course my fave character is Samuel, and his
I was just gonna say he's my favorite.
Yo, bro,
I mean,
Cold-blooded, just swagged
Off rip.
out.
I
Oh
Like
mean,
my goodness.
this is a great opening to a character. It was like
Yeah.
after just like 4 word bubbles, I'm like, yeah, I fuck with this guy.
That's-
Yes.
like that's the like
Yeah.
adversary. That's like your not rival, but the opposite villain, naked opponent, and he's like the vice captain in a way.
Yeah.
Well, like the brains is literally the guy that made the whole deal. Yeah, 1 million per person for each for each of you guys. You wanna
He said no catch. He first said, "Look,
Y'all
I'm
racist. I don't like
racist. I don't really like y'all. Like, if I could bathe and clean off any other part of me right now, I would. But you guys can just say I'm your MC of the night. Yeah,
Who was
don't
making
want to make
bill?
1 mil. Who wants to make me money? Just 1 mil.
Right.
You gotta fight. Oh boy, here, no catch, just fight. And they're like, I bet.
Can you do that?
And then
you should have thought about that.
Yeah.
Before.
JB, you mentioned the action panels, like that one in particular. Those
Was
fight scenes
favorite.
look really good.
Yes.
Like it caught the intensity of the fight between the thugs and the big bad. That's what I'm referring to him as.
Nuts.
Yeah, it's just like, and then the use of coloring, the blood, the sound
Yeah.
effects too. I was like, oh, I can definitely really see this playing in real time in my
Yeah.
head. I really enjoyed that those portions right there. And so shout out to Samuel for real.
I mean, you're welcome. That's, you didn't need to put up my government name up there, but yeah. So, okay.
Hey, I mean, who gonna stop you? Who gonna stop you?
Sam said they ain't got no all that.
But yeah, the art from the fight to choreography was literally on point for this comic, manga. Like, it's beautiful, really clean, really got the maneuver and everything. Also have to give props to the MC of the page, his own fighting and choreography, and his I would like to say finesse. I feel like his fighting ability is more of a finesse, where like it's on the go, you don't expect it, and like whatever situation comes at him, he will think outside the box and be able to maneuver out. Especially when like he was first outside the car, I was like, "Yo, where is he?" Broke the window. Literally, like, where'd he go? Did he get run over? And like, so who's your boss again? And like, oh,
That was my favorite part. A classic superhero team, with ability. It's like seeing, like, chasing the bad guys. I loved it. I love like the dark paneling of like his face being hidden in the back, where like I took the mystery of the character. That was a favorite panel of mine for sure.
We definitely we all said this. We also said we had that Static Shock vibe. If anything, if you had that the original cartoon series song, like bada beep beep bada beep,
Yes.
you can literally hear it from the song.
I would definitely say one of my favorite panels is him popping up in the back seat, like, "Hey, what's up,
Yo,
guys?"
for
And quoting like National Geographic knowledge that he got from watching, like, which was Static did in the comic. Yeah, which was Static did in the comic. He was always schooling like villains on like their grammar or whatever, like that. So I got that from that. I loved it.
I also love the use of colors with that particular scene of his after image. Like, it was very distinct and very vibrant too. So it's not like you could miss it. You could tell like, okay, this is different. And just overall, like I mentioned before we went live, is as far as we know, the base power set of Afterimage, the character himself, is pretty dope. Calling it skipping, and how he is basically short teleportation. all y'all don't really know what I mean because y'all not exclusive like us, but you'll find out.
They'll see you when they get the book.
Yeah, so I'm just telling you, like, short teleportation is one of those abilities that, when you just hear it, it's like, it doesn't seem like much.
So
you gotta see it in action.
So Nightcrawler is, but a little bit more better.
It gave me more of like what you see in like Valorant and Overwatch, like no pun taken, but literally like a video game sense, where it's like it's ability where you have to have an awareness to it. You have to know how to use it. As the
exactly
user.
It comes down to how do you use it. And I mean, the great thing about this series is that you know, I know recently on the TL, people have feel some type of way about MCs that don't know how to throw hands. Don't worry, this MC knows how to throw hands. So combine that with short teleportation, it makes for some exciting combos that you guys did a great job of just capturing. With your fight, again, going back to the fight choreography, the combos between throwing hands and legs and hands, and then short teleportation was just really, really dope to me. It was really cinematic. And again, the coloring itself, every page was just vibrant. I was constantly looking at every little thing, just like, yo, y'all didn't skimp out on the details either. Y'all did not cheapen the moment. Y'all said like, hey, if we're gonna go A1, if we're gonna go 100%, we are going to go 100%. And I respect that so much from you guys, because you aren't Marvel, you aren't DC, you're Concept Moon.
Yes.
You know, you are your own, and you're basically telling the fans like, hey, we may not be these titans that you're all very well known for, who've been established for decades, but we're also not going to cheat you out on quality, you know. And I appreciate that big time from y'all. So,
and that it can be done. Like, it inspires creators, man. It can be done. Like,
Yes.
this second to last panel, dude, this could easily be in any like mainstream,
right?
Like, this is actually like my favorite panel in the whole thing, because just like, it's just how it's laid out. I don't want to give away any spoilers, but how my nerd brain works, it just makes me think of how his powers can evolve, like how many after images he'll be able to create after a while. Like, how does he use it in like large scale fights where it's like versus like 15 guys? How many after images? Like, it just made me think of so many different things, man. Like, this is really good.
I think my main thing was like, if you ever played a Spider-Man game, then it's literally that. It's always been like 1 against like 20. And then like,
that's instantly what I saw. I'm like, I need this now.
that would be something. I'm really also glad that every enemy are not just like full on dumb, like whether policemen or untrained or nothing. Especially when it came to the Dosa unit, like they have their own way of fighting, and it's like it's dangerous, but it's also incredible, as well as the choreography. Again, the choreography just, it doesn't miss. It has not lacked or anything of it. It's not like a simple 1 or 2 page where it's just like simple disarm, boom, broken arm, done, move on to the next point. No, you literally giving us a whole hand-to-hand fighting combat so that you actually have an idea of what these soldiers are capable of. They're not just simple regular soldiers where it's just aim and shoot randomly for no reason. Just literally give me a stormtrooper just dodging, missing all my bullets and shots. No, these guys literally got hands, and they know how to use them.
Right.
And that's why I liked Sanderson, because her whole plan for using, Dosa makes sense to me. You know, even though, and again, you get a glimpse of like why she is the way she is, a little bit in the chapter. And I think that's what what makes these characters have heart, is because you understand like their motives. And I respected her as a character for that. I'm like, yeah, sometimes you gotta work with people like that in order to try and create a place that you would want your kids to grow up in. And I love how you guys conveyed her characters. Like, it was perfect. I fell in love with her instantly.
I definitely agree. Because sorry, go for it.
Oh no. So what I was gonna say is that it's about 23 pages that we got in issue 1. But just hearing as everybody talks about their favorite elements and whatnot, I just want to convey to the audience, just from those 23 pages, the seeds that were planted for future plot lines. Like, we got introduced to different characters from all spheres of Fort City, as far as we know right now. Like, we got introduced to the politician. We got introduced to the street life. We got introduced to the secret military police. We got introduced to the personal life of the character. And it's just like, yo, you would think like, oh, that's too much. But in 23 pages, the way that y'all construed it was like, oh man, it flows.
The how I feel like the algorithm equation is usually how everybody starts is, oh, this is the superhero. He gets all this. But no, you don't want to start. You want to start it the opposite way, and this is what it came to. This is what happens. The villains, the evils, they get everything on the specs, and you just feel like the hero only has just one thing, and that's the handicap. Like, no, this is just a new way of introducing how a hero can do as much anybody can, even if the villains have all this as much. I also like to point out the realism with this comic book as well. A lot of real world stuff where it's like there is racism that in the world that can be
Oh
addressed,
man.
and like this comic book does definitely for sure like portrays the real world stuff, how many people have different views of the world and how it should be taken care of, how they feel like the world should be handled this way in order for it. Some people figure it's like lockdown, seclusion. People figure it's to get rid of all the criminals, no matter whatever means necessary, and the few individual heroes who feel like, like not just prison. It's more like let them heal, let them understand, let them like I forgot the word, but it's like how when a prisoner like does his time in prison and he's
Goes on parole.
Like,
not just
like
parole, but
rehabilitate.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like there are people who rehabilitation works. It's just that everything needs to be structured correctly in order for rehabilitation to fully work. But nobody has this kind of patience.
Yeah.
And like when real world situation happens, when someone close to you has been
Yeah.
affected by it, it calls for drastic measures. And
Yeah.
okay, we got this. We're getting from this comic book, and this is real world stuff. This is real people traits, personality, human, where they're desperate, and now they've come to the point where they're gonna be doing something where whatever happens, they can't take it back. And
Yeah.
I get this from Afterimage.
I like the synopsis in the beginning where it kind of touched bases on all of that, and then us talking about it, it just full circles all of that, where it's like, everyone is on a side, some are wrong, some are right, some are in between, but like this character is that momentum that's gonna challenge all of that, and I really like that setup.
Because go ahead, Keith. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, Robert, the writer, did an amazing job of tying everything together. Because a lot of times when you see this much stuff kind of packed into one book, it's like it can almost be too much if it's not done the right way. Mm-hmm. So Robert Jeffries did an amazing job of the way that he wrote it. It all comes together very smoothly. Like it doesn't feel like it's too much. It doesn't feel like it's thrown in your face, but it goes very well with what's going on throughout the book.
Exactly. Similar to what Spicy said when she talked about Councilwoman Sanderson, and then again with Sam saying the real world applications, like just from that conversation between Councilwoman Sanderson and the head of the DOSA unit, it's just like, okay, man is talking about, hey, look, you see how that military police, you see how we apprehended that superhero thug? And she's like, so why did y'all arrest him? Because he was reported to be dangerous. So y'all just gonna pick up any black man or black woman that a white woman calls on? And it's like, oh, okay, so you telling me that's Councilwoman Sanderson, she for the people, and then she's like, but I'm still gonna use these. Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay.
But that's not Amanda Waller, but like she has a reason for it, but not just but it's like she's used like the whole, what everyone said, like bipartisan in order to fix it. She wants to use them in order to fix the system. So I did like that a lot. I like.
Yeah, she's like, no, y'all not about to let any white person, any Karen, about to pull up and be like, oh my gosh, he scared me.
He's like, oh, he just so happened to be a user. And she was like, so you just gonna go off that whim every time, like,
right?
That's why the police failed. Like,
yeah,
that's why they failed.
Well, it takes just one bad experience, and like it just causes a whole domino effect where like if it hurts your heart, you don't care who else is gonna be burning the aftermath of this. So
exactly. Well, yeah, because again, it shows the depth. It's like, yo, she's for the people. Like, she's a black woman. She's not about to let some white dude with military like police dictate the streets, but she also lost to the streets too, so she plans to control it, but she's like, hey, there's context matters. It's not black and white, like this old dude, because you saw how he got snappy with her. I thought she was about to, woo, you know, that's
Her
where I got
face. She was
right?
like,
That's where I got my Black Mariah vibes from. I was like, oh, she about to knock you upside the head with a microphone stand. Like, you better stop playing. She gonna kill you. She's like, first of all, you will not refer to me as lady. Like, nah, he got real fresh with Shorty. I was like, oh, nah, B. So I'm
like, you a little too comfortable.
Yeah.
she said, I invited you here.
Don't forget. Don't you forget.
Exactly.
So again, I just love the depth that you're giving with not only the characters, but just the plot itself. Because as you mentioned, you know, the writer Robert has done a great job of not making it feel convoluted, not making it feel so stuffy and so disorganized. Everything, again, just flows seamlessly, and it gets you excited. Like, what are we going to get with issue 2? You know, what is the what threads are you going to be pulling on in future issues? Because I'm invested in all of them now. I want to know what's happening on a political level. I want to know what's happening on the street level. I want to know what's happening in his personal life. Like, yo, it makes me want more and more. So, you know, like I said, issue 2, you know, let me know. Let me know.
Oh yeah, definitely will. And I appreciate that you guys got so much out of this read. Because you know, it was a lot packed into 20 some odd pages. And they were a great 20 plus pages, but it was a lot packed in, and it could go a lot of places. And like I was telling you guys earlier, you know, today was my first time reading the full book, you know, along with you guys. So I had seen bits and pieces, I had seen images, but as far as the full book, today was my first time getting to actually see the full thing. And, you know, to see that you guys took so much from it and that you guys enjoyed it, that's a great sign for us. So hopefully this Kickstarter, you know, is very successful. And, you know, we've got issues 2 and 3 in the works right now. And, you know, as soon as those have a release date locked in, you guys would definitely know.
Yeah, one thing I really liked is the pacing. Like we've been talking about how much is packed in, but it's because the pacing is so good is why it works, right? Like I love the way it starts. You just jump into his journey, into a mission that he's on, so you don't have that wasting time like with dialogue trying to like figure out who he is with this and that. We're watching how he works, right? So I love that you just jump straight into it, and you make the audience feel like they know what's going on. Like they don't have to be spoon fed everything that's happening. So you just jump right in, give the whole story. And I can't wait for issue 2, man. Like I already feel like I'm attached to this character and I want to know where his journey goes to next. So especially as a black man, you know, we don't have that many heroes. So any that I can latch on to, like I want it.
Yeah, because I mean, just before the show, we were talking about how Blade doesn't have like an established storyline in the MCU, and you know, Spicy's commenting on how, you know, they just don't do their black characters well like that. I mean, you look at Static. After how many years Static is finally back, and it's like, yo, we have these characters. Nubia, who was introduced way before any of us were born.
Yeah, I was born.
Way before any of us were born. But like, if you were to get into DC, you'd like, oh, they just introduced a new character. It's like, nah, she's always been there, but now we're highlighting her. It's really dope to see Concept Moon, not only with Afterimage, but most of your titles present like original stories with black and diverse leads. Like, and they not, you know, they don't feel stuffy, they don't feel flat, they don't feel stereotypical. It's like, yo, they like us. I mean, just the dialogue itself in this Afterimage was so dope. It's like, okay, old boy is talking like how we would normally talk, you know, just any day on Twitter or when we shooting the shit, you know, you feel me? And it doesn't feel dry. It's not feeling like, oh, he needs to speak proper English, you know, he has to code switch. It's like, nah,
or try to talk like a superhero. It
right.
He's just one of us that just happens to have powers.
Yeah,
it's ideal. I don't feel like, oh, this is made by us but not for us. You know, it feels like, oh, this is definitely made by us and this is definitely made for us. Like,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I love that.
And I like the research you guys did with the 2 brother characters, how, you know, he's able to pick up on the one Fable, I think. I really like that part, because that was a detail that you didn't have to add, but it adds to the situation going on, where, you know, kind of like how Marvel does with I forgot what the Ant-Man one was, what they're talking about in one of the episodes. But those little details like that, it's nice to add into, because it shows that you care about not just your Black characters, but all your other characters, where they're coming from. So that was really nice to see.
Oh, absolutely. From the old country. It's like every time you hear that phrase,
yeah, some
you went for some shit, yo. You really do. Oh my goodness. It's great. I love it. But Sam, go ahead.
No, go for it.
I was gonna say, Keith, another thing, for most people who may not know much about you is just to switch gears a little bit, you are a big fan of slice of life anime, and you know what, your recommendations I've definitely been feeling, and as I expand more into exploring exactly as I expand more into slice of life anime too, as we close this summer 2021 anime season, what have been some of your favorite genres that you've been paying attention to?
So I've been a little bit burnt out on anime, so I really didn't watch a whole lot of the summer season. I started Girlfriend, which the couple episodes of that I saw were really funny. I do plan on going to finish it. Trying to think what else. There's some that I had on my list, like Remake. I think it's called Remake Our Life.
Yeah, with their gaming studio. Oh, the first episode was so cute. I cried the first episode. Like they got to my heart, man. They were like following a dream, like All Might, like You Can Be Hero 2 was like that with following a dream. That was like dang.
Okay.
And then there was another one. Man, I can't remember the name of it. The one with the guy that works on the children's TV show.
I heard that was hilarious.
I haven't.
Yeah.
Urameshi
I've
or
been
something
hearing
like that.
I've been hearing great things about that one. But I haven't started. I have to go back and watch all of my summer 2021 list. And I'm finally kind of starting to get back into the habit of watching anime. I feel like I've been watching seasonal stuff for the last, I don't know, maybe 4 years, like really keeping up with the seasonal stuff. So I got a little burnt out. I needed to take a break. So but I'm starting to get back into it. So hopefully soon I'll have an actual like real recommendations for summer stuff that I've actually watched. Because all I've been watching from summer has been Slime and My Hero Tokyo Revengers. That's really been it that I've been.
Yeah, that's all I'm watching right now too. Like, I'm kind of burnt out right now too, so I've been reading a lot more like comics and shit, trying to just like switch it up a little bit.
I was gonna ask you if you've read the Slice of Life Batman series yet on Webtoons.
I haven't. I just heard about that too.
It's really cute. It's really cute.
I like the attention to Duke Thomas because it's funny. We had just been talking about him on a TL recently because it was the topic of the different Robins and people were like, "Hey, yo, don't forget Duke Thomas." I'm like, "Who the hell is that?" It's like the only Black Robin that ever lived. I'm like, there was a Black Robin? Like, when was this?
And this story is kind of from his perspective a little bit, and I think that's cool how they did that.
And it's like, because we had known that DC and Webtoons were collaborating to do this, and we kind of expected like their first story to be one of the big three, one of the Trinity. It would either be a Batman, Superman, or Wonder Woman story.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, and the fact that they went Batman and it's a slice of life in itself, I'm like, okay.
But
I can see it.
And I love it because it's a Bat family. People love the Bat family. People make so much like lore things about it. Like, so it makes sense for them to do a slice of life on their family.
Yeah, I know JB is super happy. I would have preferred a Superman slice of life family. I mean, Superman has a family,
and they got a series for that right now.
Yeah, no one cares.
They got it's on the CW series.
Look at that.
Superman and Lois is actually pretty good. You should check it out.
Yeah, spicy. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. They can have that. They can have that. They got live action.
You
They can
make
do
it
that.
seem like we can't get no webtoons about the Superman family. That's slice of life in itself. It's always been slice of life. It's
I want
perfect.
Harley and Ivy. I want a slice of life with Harley and Ivy. I think that would be
Well,
adorable.
they gave us the Bat family, you know, and you know that means that Damon is gonna have to be somewhat tempered. I wanted Damon to kill somebody, but you know
my
he's not
melanated
gonna do
son.
that.
My melanated son. I love it.
But nah, it's pretty dope to see that this is how they're going through, and it's getting huge receptions already. Just looking at the webtoon numbers, people are really enjoying it. I'm really excited for other stories that they tell, especially since it doesn't have to be as dark as, you know, normal DC. They can make it lighthearted, since not most webtoons, but the slice of life webtoons are pretty much jovial, vibrant. The art styles are definitely put you at ease, you know, unless they decide to be like, hey, then one day in chapter 27, the Bat family lost a member of Jason Todd was taken out by the Joker, and it's just like, oh no, why would
I
you
think
do
he
that?
already came back to life though. They introduced him. They're like the one who died and came back to life. Yeah, they already announced that in the slice of life.
Oh, okay, because I'm like, and then we're going to get the Killing Joke all over again, and then it's going to become a dark fantasy, and then I'm like, you see, this is why you don't do the Batman family as a slice of life. You should have went Superman.
No. I think they're because like Batman has a lot of like silly villains, so I think they're gonna literally hype up that antic, which I'm gonna like a lot, because Penguin can be funny. Scarecrow I guess could be funny in a way if they use them right, because like at the end of the day it's just like, you know,
be
so
unique to see how they do that.
I'm kind of with Abe on this. A Superman like slice of life webtoon would actually.
The Batman fam has turned. Yes,
they're coming out with one, guys. It's
happening.
It's an animated one though, but it's kind of like a slice of life with Lois and Clark's time at the Daily Bugle. It's kind of like them as writers. It's not a webtoon. It's an anime series coming out, I think, on Cartoon Network. But it's kind of, I like Lois's designs, very different from what she normally, like she's kind of more like tomboyish with short hair, and Clark's still kind of like cute, but like it's just her time as writers, and I'm like, this is gonna be really cute.
Because with slice of life, you could do something really fun with like Mixoplex.
Exactly. Yo, that's the first person
that would honestly be really fun.
Let me look that
up.
up.
You got Clark, you got John, you can get Supergirl in there, you can get Steel. Like, there's so much just fun, wholesome content in terms of slice of life that you can get from the Superman family that
it's
just flows,
you know, Batman's better. That's all.
Okay. And then I can't wait when you start to feel like, wow, they really made Batman soft and whatnot. Then I want to have this conversation again. Okay. JB?
It's coming to HBO Max, and it's called My Adventures with Superman.
Okay. My Adventures with Superman. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'd watch that.
Yeah. It's really cute. It reminds me of Voltron's animation art style. Like it's very much like that. So I like it. It looks cute.
Hey, I'm with it.
So, is there a reason why you prefer slice of life genre compared to other genres, Keith?
Well, I like a little bit of everything, honestly. So I used to be very, very like anti slice of life. Like I'll never watch slice of life. Like why would you watch that? It sounds boring. And then I actually started to sit down and watch slice of life, and I fell in love with it because the storytelling is so good, especially coming from someone who's like, I've always been a writer. Like I've always loved good storytelling. And with anime, it was like, for such a long time, it was always shonen, like shonen, give me fights, give me, you know, gritty battle stuff. And getting into slice of life kind of changed everything, because with slice of life, you don't have that action to rely on.
No.
Whereas, you know, with some shonen, they're kind of carried by their actions, and the in-between stuff is not that great. But with slice of life, you don't have that. So you have drama, there's comedy, there's, you know, whatever, but it has to be carried by the actual storytelling. You have to care about these characters. You have to care about what they're going through, because there's not about to be a fight scene. There's not going to be a fight scene dropped in that can take over time. So that's what really did it for me with Slice of Life. Was like, okay, I love these characters, I love this story. You have to be invested. So that's really what kind of started turning things around for me, because I really was like, for a long time, was like, I'll never watch Slice of Life. Like, why do people watch this? It's boring. There's no way that people would enjoy this for real. And then I found out I was completely wrong.
That's actually great, because like I I definitely like, because like a lot of people have the same idea and same mind as you have, because like they know, everybody has an idea of Dragon Ball Z, and they're all like, when they think of anime, it's literally automatically Dragon Ball Z.
I think you mean Naruto.
Naruto too.
Sailor Moon.
Everything's Naruto.
And like, it's literally like,
Yeah,
there's gonna be some. The only thing about the action, they only can remember like literally the fight sequence and action, but they never see it as it is, where there is a story to anime. There are character developments in anime. There are real life dramas. There are real life situations. There's romance. There's a full on story. I love how you explained it, where like when you don't have these actions, it has to be carried on from story. It has to be carried by the story, the drama, and the slice of life of it all, in order for the anime to, like, I mean, it makes it. And that's great storytelling altogether. And if you can use this same great storytelling with the whole shonen fight sequence, I mean, you're talking about an absolute, almost perfect anime right there.
So, question for you: are you reading or watching Beastars?
Not currently. I watched the first season of Beastars. I started the first episode of the second season, and then I got distracted, so I didn't finish the episode, and I haven't been back to it yet. So I can't really make a comment on the second season just yet.
What do you think of the first?
That second season is better, but
so I love the first.
Is
I love
it
the
really?
second season.
Yeah, because for
you didn't
me,
see
like,
it coming. The twist.
Yeah, like I also love like really like rich story driven like characters and stories and stuff like that. So to see a story about classism like set in like this setting using the animals and stuff like that, like I think it's really unique. I'd never seen anything like it, so wanted to know like what you thought of the first season.
Yeah, I did like the first season. It gave me like, it made me think of Zootopia, and I don't know if that's just because I saw Zootopia first.
No, I get that too.
Well, they dealt with a similar. They dealt with a similar aspect too, with classism and like racism.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though like they're technically supposedly younger, they doing some really adult shit.
Right. Yeah, it kind of gave me like Zootopia High School kind of vibes, where it's this predator animals versus prey animals, where Legoshi kind of really has this conflict where he's this big bad wolf and everyone's kind of afraid of him, and he doesn't necessarily see himself that way, and he feels a way that people see him as something that he doesn't really necessarily see himself as. And it's the relationship between him and Haru, and then also I forget his name. The what is he? He's a deer, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're kind of they're I don't know if you want to call that a love triangle or whatever they got going on between the three of them.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a very interesting dynamic to me. And then also, you add in the other girl that's a wolf that wants Legoshi, and he's like not really interested, and she she sees herself as like the perfect alpha female, I guess. Yeah, like she's like, you need to be with me, and he's like, I'm I'm kind of good on you, you know. So
She's so cute,
it's definitely
though. I love her character so much. Oh, it breaks my heart seeing her try every time. Just fail.
But I love her confidence though.
Yes.
That's that's what made me like her. It's like her confidence. She's like, you know, you need to be with me. And he's like, I don't know. And she's like, no, you need to be with me.
She reminds me of myself. She's very direct. She knows what she wants. She goes and gets it. That's why people love her and why they want her to be the next B-star, because she, you know, but she's struggling because of Legoshi. Like, she's like, why aren't you responding to me? Like, well, so I really
it's
like,
a whole real high school drama kind of
yeah,
thing. How come
but
this boy doesn't like me even though I like him so much kind of thing?
But she commands a room, like the fair that they're on when she's performing. Like, she killed. Like, I really love her character. So, but Paru Itagaki, she's a really good storyteller. Like, season 2 was so good because normally I can pick up on details, but I had no idea what was going to be revealed season 2, and when it did happen, I was like, it makes sense, you know, it literally makes sense. But I love her writing. You know, her father created Baki, so it's interesting.
I just found that out literally yesterday.
There's a new series out that for, I think the characters look kind of like B-stars, but they're more humans, but they kind of like animals. But she's great. I really do love her writing.
What I could give you a non-spoiler of season 2. It's all the characters are put into a different settings, and they are forced to adapt to those settings, and that creates a whole entire new character development, each and every single one of them. That's what you can expect for season 2 of Beastars.
Yeah, and I plan on watching it, but yeah, I definitely have to watch that because I love when characters are thrown into uncomfortable situations and seeing, you know, how they adapt to that.
And it's funny because kind of like her father's story is different, but it's kind of like they're both good at putting characters in these situations and like having them literally adapt. So seeing that small aspect in both their series is kind of cute. Like,
because Baki is for sure good for throwing somebody into a situation where they gotta adapt.
But even the fight scenes in Beastar are good too. So even in the manga panels, I'm like, okay, she do this too, okay. But that was really cool. It was so cool when I found it out a few years back. I was like, oh, that's awesome. She's like 22. She's young. She's born in 2000. I was like, wow. Girl, you young.
Yeah. I didn't know she was that young.
Yes.
Damn. Wow.
She's young.
So I remember when the first season came out, a lot of people were reacting to episode 3, and that was with knowing about Haru as the person. A lot of people felt
as the rabbit.
Yeah, a lot of people.
The rabbit doing rabbit things.
Uncomfortable stuff. They're like, yo, nobody expected this.
I didn't mind that. I don't like Haru as a character. I don't mind what she goes through is fine. I just don't. I think she's kind of a B word at times.
But then
like,
you understand her though. Literally afterwards, like
100. I was, but I don't like how she comes at certain people sometimes. Where I'm like, girl, chill out. Okay, I understand. Like, chill out. Like, you being a little. There's no need for all of that. But she still adds to the story. I still like,
she does.
how she has multiple sides to her, especially when she gets around Legoshi. So and I love Legoshi. The Dell's really good too. I love the actor that plays Legoshi. His voice matches Legoshi's character very well.
Yeah, dub or sub.
Yeah, so I really like Legoshi and like how he develops throughout the series. It's really good. So I have to finish the manga. I started it but dropped it, but I need to.
I need to check out the manga
because stuff.
I know the
stuff
manga
goes
finished
down.
though, and there's side stories to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have to pick that up too then, because I've only watched the anime. I haven't read the manga.
Yeah, after this, it's no more high school. They in the real world.
And then it gets real. That's where it gets real, I'm sure.
It gets real out here. So it's really cool.
Definitely Beastar is a recommended slice of life anime. If I could recommend another anime from this season, the Kobayashi Dragon Maid season 2.
Yeah.
I need a list because I would love to get into some more like good slice of life. I just don't know what's good, and I don't want to waste my time.
With Kobayashi Dragon Maid, you have good animation, you have the slice of life stuff, and there's action into it. with great animation from Kyoto Animation. First season 1 was before the incident with the Kyo Annie fire, and then season 2 is they're afterwards of the fire. Yet they're still fighting. They still have this great content and animation style, and
I
really well.
recommend New Game. I just finished the anime, and it's such a cute little slice of life about making video games. Like the manga just wrapped up a month ago or a few weeks back, and it's so cute. I love it. All the characters are adorable. But just it's basically work life, and it's real situations, how deadlines with gamings. So I highly recommend that too, because it's really good. I need to finish Remake Our Life though, because that first episode.
Yeah, I heard that's really good.
Oh, I gotta finish it, because that first episode I was like, what do I want to be? What have I been doing with my life? So yeah.
Yeah, and I recommend Quintessential Quintuplets. I always recommend that. That's my probably currently my favorite slice of life anime. Like it was so, yeah, same. Like it was so good that it made me go and read the manga afterwards. I was like, I can't wait to see what happens after this. Because when I watched it, it was season 1, and that was all we had. So it was like I refused to wait for this. When read the manga, got caught up week to week, was reading week to week, and I mean it's finished now. But
Sam, I'm disappointed in you.
What did
I'm disappointed in you, Sam. We've been talking about slice of life, and you haven't mentioned Welcome to Demon School or Rumikun.
Oh, right. I am so sorry. Yes, you are absolutely right. Prince of Dark Side. Yes, you are absolutely right. You have to check out Welcome to Demon School Rumikun for slice of life. It has comedy. It has the slice of life content. It has school life drama, and it's great.
I've heard good things about that one.
Yeah, season 2 just wrapped up about last weekend. I've ever since I hopped on it. I know Sam reads the manga.
I do.
I started the anime with Black Hole from Twitter, and we've been watching it faithfully since season 1. And every new episode, we talk about how just wholesome it is, and season 2 has been so wholesome, especially the last few chapters. I know.
Now I know why. Now I know why I did not mention that first, because Kobayashi Dragon had the plot stuff. So yeah, but go for it. But yeah,
I haven't watched that one yet, but my girlfriend raves about that show.
Yeah,
so
it's so dope, so wholesome.
What's it called?
Welcome to Demon School.
Welcome to Demon School or Rumikun. Yeah, they're talking about that. My girlfriend absolutely loves that show.
Tell her she
yells at me for not watching it yet.
Yeah, come on, the slice of life king, and you haven't watched that yet? I'm so upset.
So
once I'm done with Slime season 2 part 2, I'll watch it.
Great about Rumikun is that each season is 21 episodes. But there's a lot more coming. Season 3 has just been confirmed.
Yeah.
Nice.
And there's a lot of.
It's always nice when the next season gets confirmed.
Yeah,
instead of being left in the air like
with
this Domestic Girlfriend. Because I never know if I'll get another season of Domestic Girlfriend. And I'm upset
don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to.
Don't hold your breath.
Because Sam, Welcome to Demon School has about 250 plus chapters.
Right? Sir, it has enough content for up to season 6.
There we go.
Oh, cool.
And more.
Nice.
I mean, it's gonna be more. It's literally, since it's high school, it's like, usually it's year by year by year by year. They just started getting into their second year of high school. There's still one more full year, and then afterwards it's whatever happens. But there's a lot of content into Welcome to Demon School Rumikun.
Yeah, I love it so much that low key it's in my top 5. It's in my top 5 anime. It's sitting firmly. It's just like it's every week I come away just happy. It's because most of the time I watch a lot of I do watch a lot of shonen, and I've been trying to branch out some more. And when it comes to just the wholesomeness, it's so cute. It's so you always end up smiling while you're watching it. You know, it just makes you so happy. Every episode just brings you to like, oh, especially with the the last couple episodes between Iruma-kun and Namiri. It's just like, oh my gosh, like yo, this is so cute.
I definitely recommend the dubbing for Iruma-kun too. It's great.
It's really
the dub
good.
is good? Okay.
Dub is great.
Really
yeah.
good.
Okay.
Works.
I might do that then. I might do the dub if it's that good.
It's great.
I think the voice actress who voices what's the name from JoJo Part 4, the little boy. I think she's the voice of
Mm-hmm.
I like her voice.
Oh.
Her voice is very. She voices a lot of boys a lot of time. Like she voices what's his name from Promised Neverland, Ray. I like how she does her voices. They're always different. So when I found out it's her, I was like, oh my god, cool.
She has many
Oh.
ranges. Yeah.
Yeah, she does.
No, that's cute.
We also know the voice actor for Jazz, the dub voice of him, Ryan. He's great, humble dude. A lot of great casts within the Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun.
Jalen K. Castell. He voices what's his name from JoJo? The Best Joe Bro.
If I'm correct, I think it's Kyle Herbert, the principal, the granddad.
Oh, I definitely check out the dub. I haven't watched a dub of any recent stuff since like I started my One Piece journey 3 years ago. That was the last time I watched a dub. Ever since then, when we got to Punk Hazard, then I switched to sub because I was like, all right, they don't have any more dub episodes. I don't feel like waiting, so I haven't watched dub since then. But if the dub is that good, I need to go peep it. Just if only I can just relive and rewatch Welcome to Demon School because it's just dope. But since we mentioned JoJo's, I've been the news of JoJo Stone Ocean coming out exclusively on Netflix and it being monthly. I was so confused by that. Like I kept looking to see what this meant. And most articles like, yeah, so it's supposed to drop monthly. This is what Stone Ocean is about. And I'm like, wait. But I need someone to tell me what that means.
And it's weird because they announced that they're releasing all 6 episodes all at once. So when I saw them saying monthly, I was like, okay, so are they releasing it in parts then? Because they haven't introduced one character that's the villain. They haven't introduced them yet. So I'm like, how far are we getting in part 6? Like with
so. Them
one
going
article
monthly, it's like literally going the same pace as the manga, because I know the manga goes monthly as well. Well, rarely, and having it to here, like I guess after the first 6 episodes of the first month, and then it starts going month to month.
Well, when Stone Ocean came out, I know according to what article says, Stone Ocean was being released bi-weekly when the manga was live. And when they say monthly, some people assume that they'll just drop like 4 to 6 episodes every month. And then that's how we'll consume it. And I'm like, okay, why didn't you just say that? Well, you saying it monthly makes it seem like, yeah, so September 3rd, you get episode 1. October 3rd, you'll get episode 2.
I still don't like it because why are you changing the format of JoJo for your only woman character of JoJo? Why, like, everything worked for the previous ones, so you're changing the platform it's on to Netflix, which whatever, fine, that happens. The OVA was great. I loved OVA, but I see too many differences with part 6, with slight animation differences, how they're releasing it, and I'm concerned because it's like I really enjoy this part. People give the ending slack, but it's like I don't want people to get turned off to this because of how they're going about it.
Because you look at the 3 current like major animes, I'll say right now, you have on Netflix, you have Shaman King, you have JoJo's, and then you have Komi-san Can't Communicate, which is coming out, and all 3 are being released very differently.
I would say
Shaman King
too.
is Eden Zero as well. Shaman King is going every week in Japan, but they waited several months to give us all of season 1, and they're going to wait a couple months to give us the next part because
the rest
I think
of
this,
it.
exactly. It's like
2 parts, two parts
so
of
it's like,
season 1.
Okay, that's one way to do it. With JoJo's, they're planning to do it monthly in batches, and then with Komi-san, that one they're going to drop weekly 2 weeks after it airs in Japan. So October 6th is when it airs in Japan. But then Netflix is going to drop it on the 21st, and then every week from there we'll get a new episode of Komi-san. somewhat similar to how they're do. I don't know where Eden Zero falls in either of those three methods. It's just like
same as Shaman
give me
King,
consistency. Okay,
Okay, yeah.
Couple months
Like-
and then it's
Because they came out around
Mhm.
the same season. They came. Shaman
Yeah.
King and
Mhm.
Zero did.
it's like, hey, Netflix, just give it to me one way. You know, just give it to me weekly if you can do that. That'd be preferred. Don't be like, hey, we're gonna drop this. You can watch it off of other sites, 6 months in advance. But if you wait 6 months, we'll give it to you. We'll give you 13 episodes. Japan is on episode 30 right
84.
now, and I'm
Right.
like, yo, what's going on?
But then it's
Like, I
also
wanna
to
enjoy
prepare for the other dub voicings too. It's not just for English, but like for Portuguese, French,
Yeah.
Yeah,
German,
Spanish.
everything.
Look,
Especially
only
when
I only do subs, so I don't need that excuses. Netflix. I don't need all that excuse. Just give me my sub. Give me my sub, yo.
I mean, it's
But-
also to because Netflix is worldwide, international, where everybody has Netflix and animes and stuff like that. Them picking up an anime where you either like wait to the whole week to week, which is just like other outside of US, everybody actually gets week to week. Now this is like like with Komi Can't Communicate. This is the first time we're having a week to week anime for the States.
Netflix is like, hey,
Yeah.
Crunchyroll, we can do what y'all do too. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think Netflix is kind of experimenting with what they can do, especially since they're
Definitely.
like relatively new in the anime space,
Yeah.
I guess, because they have reality TV shows that they drop weekly.
Yeah,
So
Mhm.
why
Yeah.
can't
They
you
do.
drop anime weekly? And like the format for anime is already weekly drops, so it's really not something that you need to experiment with because
Yeah.
clearly it's something that works already.
That
So,
every other site does, like
Yeah.
Crunchyroll
Yeah,
does it, Funimation does it, Hulu does it. Like
From
come on,
from
dog.
their
Right.
perspective, it's like, well, our customers are used to just clicking on Netflix and then just binge
Mhm.
watching everything.
Yeah.
And
To switch
binging.
it up,
Yeah,
some people might not like it, but I mean,
Mhm.
for the anime watchers,
right.
which are the people you're trying to
We're
attract?
used to
Because
it.
they're spending tens of millions right now on anime, so it's like just
Right.
do it.
Yeah, and
But
I
I-
think
I-
that's where Netflix's thing is, because binging is kind of like their like mission statement. That's kind
Their
of like what
thing.
they're known for. And so
Mhm.
it's like they're like, oh, but yeah, like, so anime is a different ball game, man. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a whole different ball game.
It's also
And then
go for it, Keith.
also Netflix is kind of like introducing a lot of people to anime also.
Mhm.
Whereas, with Funimation and Crunchyroll, you're getting viewers who are used to this.
Yes.
You're getting if you have Crunchyroll, you're probably seasoned at least a little bit in anime because you're paying for a service that is specifically anime. Whereas with Netflix, it's like, we have all this other stuff, and then somebody might decide to watch an anime for the first time on Netflix, and that for a new anime watcher, weekly might be a little bit jarring because they're used to being on Netflix and you can watch, binge watch everything at the same time. So I kind of get it, but at the same time, it's like, just give us weekly.
What
No,
I
it's
also understand, what I also know is that Netflix also creates a lot of original Netflix anime too.
Yeah.
And more often than not, they miss.
Yeah.
Well, it's because
But at least they're
they,
trying, man.
Yeah, they are.
because I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie,
Give chances.
they did Aijin. I liked Aijin. No, they did Nice of Sidonia. I don't think that was that wasn't original. But it's they tried.
Yeah,
with
they
few-
tried. It's
where a
not
few
the
where I was
manga.
like,
They did get Devilman Crybaby, and a lot of people.
Hey, we know.
That's-
Keep speak on it. Speak
Devilman
on it.
Crybaby is my third favorite anime of all time. So, I mean,
It's in
I
my
definitely
top five.
appreciate them
But
doing
then
Right in
again-
front of Demon School.
Like,
Right in front of Demon School.
but then again, they are like they're willing to cut budgets with 3D CG anime
Mhm.
stuff,
Yeah.
and it has not been working well. Such
Especially-
as like
especially the
Ghost in a
early-
Shell.
like King and
Yeah.
Ashura.
Yeah, Kengan Ashura, Baki a little bit too.
Nice
Well,
of the Zodiac.
Actually, I'm sorry, Baki. I think Baki's being licensed, but
Knights of the Zodiac, and they work with Toei with that. They're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
we want
That-
to get
yeah.
kids and their parents into say
Yeah,
no.
That CGI Saint Seiya that they did was not.
I thought
it
I was
at
watching
all.
the Miraculous Tales of Ladybug Cat Noir. I'm like, this is a children's. Say has killed people. Seiya has killed grown men. Why are you skipping that part in this? Why?
Weeping.
No.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword with Netflix introducing people to anime, because the Ghost in the Shell series that they have, I think it's terrible. And I'm a huge Ghost in the Shell fan. I have a poster on my wall. I have all the Blu-rays. Like, I love Ghost in the Shell, and that is not good. So if that's someone's first exposure to it, that's not okay. So it's a double-edged sword with that one. But at least they're trying. They're giving people opportunities to make things other studios wouldn't pay for. So it is what it is.
And
Steve-
I appreciate that they're opening an animation school in Japan because
Oh, really?
they have the school.
yeah, they're opening a school because there is definitely a shortage of animators in the
They have
industry
a
right
whole,
now.
like a school and housing program for it. And
That's
scholarships.
really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
scholarships, and I think they're working towards trying to get the wages better too, because we all know that
That's
animators
important.
for sure don't get paid what they should be paid. So hopefully
Mhm.
they can figure things out and get this industry to a little bit of a better standard.
Yeah.
Ray said, get some
as far
context.
as the actual people behind it, because we all love anime, but I definitely think the animators need to be paid much more than what they get paid. They need to definitely have way better working conditions. And the people, I know there's an issue where people don't want to go into animation because the wages are so low. So hopefully they can get this thing flipped around, at least, start a little bit.
Because there's so many different like mangas, manhwas, webtoons that would be dope to see animated, and it's just like, well, if you don't have enough animators, when do you choose? I mean,
Right.
Noblesse, a webtoon. I enjoyed the anime when it came out a couple years ago. I mean, Tower of God, God of High School, even though there have been other issues with that. And I know when it comes to Netflix, talking about how they've been experimenting, Way of the House Husband. I have yet to watch it, but
Loved it.
the main thing, the detractors was the style, the animation style, which they were like, oh, it's like a slideshow.
Yeah.
But then people who speak highly on it said it was a hilarious.
It was.
The comedy is fantastic, but the animation for it is just like you expected a lot more.
Yeah.
Even
it was
for
still shots for the most
Yeah.
part. It was a lot of still shots. Nothing really moved like
For
that.
references,
But
if everybody remembers the My Hero Academia with Mirio trying to do his action from the series, is literally just still shot, still shot, still shot, still shot, still shot.
I felt like it wasn't like bad. Like when I watched it, I'm like, it's still funny. It wasn't like it was
Comedy is
like regular Ragnarok where it was literally just,
Oh yeah,
PDF files going across in a power presentation. But it flowed, it worked for what it was. So I didn't mind it. And I looked in the manga and it literally is like snap by snap the manga how it flows. So I didn't mind that creative
so my question to y'all then, because Where the House Husband presents an interesting question I have. So for you guys as consumers of anime, at one point does the content like outweigh the animation style or vice versa for you?
Depends how good the storytelling is.
Yes.
For me.
Same, because like the animation could be shit, but the story could be very, very good. And it's just like you don't need
and
to
it'll
watch
still
it.
keep you engaged.
Yeah, it'll keep me engaged, of course.
That was me with Ruby season 1. Ruby season 1 had terrible animation, but the story was hooked me in really immediately. Good. And I suffered through it, but you consistently saw it get better, so that also added to the experience. And now it's like story's crazy, the animation is really good and crisp, so it's like it's definitely a story for me.
I've been wanting to get into Ruby.
Ruby is fire. Please,
Ruby's good.
Go watch it.
I'll have to check it out.
They're all on Crunchyroll right now. I'm so glad when they decided to stop going on their own page where I have to pay money for it, and they partner with Crunchyroll with that, because I'm like, I don't have money. But I love the characters, and I love they get real into like their story. Like I love it. It's kind of like it's kind of like classic, you know, like fairy tale, but with a obviously with a twist. When it's mecha weapons, it's good. I love it. Love it.
Yeah, I gotta go get caught up, but I watched the first 4 seasons and I loved it. I loved all 4 seasons.
Ruby's my favorite character.
Definitely worth watching.
Yeah. I love her sister, but there are so many great characters.
Mine is
Blake Belladonna is I know the characters. Blake Belladonna is
Blake.
all black.
Oh, Blake. Well, she's a I forgot their club, but they're like the animal people. She's a cat, and that they have racism with that in it. So you get an anime-esque vibe within this American. Well, it's not American made, but produced studio type thing. The creator of the series actually voices one of the characters. He passed away he
passed away a couple years ago. Yeah,
but it's such a great series. I love it. You know, started off like a a high school 3D CGI project, but now it's like completely something different, and so good.
Yeah, because the first season, the episodes are only like 10-12 minutes.
Yeah, they were short, and it came out on, it's funny because again, Netflix. I came across on Netflix. I saw it. I literally binged the whole season within an hour, and I was like, "Wait, I'm on a different season now," because I didn't realize how short they were.
That is so short.
Yeah.
To answer even more from Aid's question, it was also like if you know the animation is crap and you know like you don't need to pay attention to it, you could also focus on the dub voicing as well. At least from that forth is like how well can you voice a character. And even you can, of course you could go revert to the manga and have that alternate, but what if you were to have the manga and then you just have the dub voices? You could just enjoy the art from the manga and then let the voice actors who've done the voicings of it just to give you the line by line. I think that'd be a great way to enjoy the content as well.
So I'm a weirdo. I'm with Ray, right? If the animation's crap, I'll just read the manga. But what I will do is watch like a couple episodes of the anime so I can get the music and the characters' voices in my head, and then I play that in my head while I read. So that's what I would do.
The music in Ruby is crazy good. That's all. Like, it's good. But I like with the dub. Like I like when like we all can't be like the Johnny Young Bosches of of certain things where they can give you creative freedoms and it works. Sometimes it doesn't. So I feel like it depends on the voice actor and what they're trying to go with the character. But there's some dubs that I do like when they take creative liberties and kind of put spins on the characters from, the manga to like on the anime, but that doesn't work all the time.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I think for me, it's similar to you and Ray, JB, minus the voice and the music. It's just like, look, if I try something that's like, yo, this genre is not for me, I'll just switch to the manga. But at the same time, it's like it becomes lower on my priority. Like Record of Ragnarok, I know people before the anime came out, people were hyping it up on the TL.
Right.
Shout out to Project Manga and them. They were really showing mad love, and I was like, oh, I can't wait. And then the anime dropped, and I'm like, oh, I could peep it since it's going to be an action-filled one. And then so much negative criticism. I was like, I'll read it, but like it went from being like something that's at the top of my list to the bottom. I'll get to it when I get to it, because clearly, like, I don't need to rush. It's not like people are gonna be talking about it too much on the TL since the animation is crap to most people. But it is actually interesting that you, JB, that you and Ray will listen to it just to get the voices and the music in your head, and that way. Okay, bet. Yeah, I feel it.
Dude, that's like one of my favorite parts about like reading My Hero. Like depending on like the fights, when it's like villains showing up, like I hear the score in my head and I can hear the sub voice actors. So it increases the reading
just go to
experience
like
for me.
Spotify or something like that. Just play a playlist of the
and just play the score.
That's
reading enjoyment enhance.
Yeah. So I have another question then. And this is related basically to everyone, especially those in the chat. I know we have a couple of writers, mangakas, and Keith himself, he's a writer. When it comes to when you write, are you the type of person that has like a playlist that's being played or a soundtrack that you like to have on when you write? For me, it depends on personally my mood. I love The Weeknd. So oftentimes I listen to The Weeknd when I edit. I listen to The Weeknd when I write, and so as a result, I guess you could say that my subject matter is more emotional and whatnot. Thought if I'm out here vibing to the trilogy album and being like, hey, you just love me because I'm there. And I'm like, oh, okay, so you write some sad stuff, right? But what do you guys like to listen to when you do content creation?
I have a whole playlist that I have called Anime Writing Inspiration. So, because you know, I am a person that thinks and scenes in my head, so music helps to add to that. So I have a lot of like Bleach opening songs in my playlist. So I have like Colors of the Heart by Overworld. I have Riri Asian Kung Fu Generation, which I love. Lisa stuff. Just songs that I like from series that I enjoy, like Blue and Count, a lot of Blue and Count, a lot of Overworld, Scream Mode. But just songs that I think help my creativity. I'll have hip hop in there here and there. My favorite women, a lot of women artists that I like, Paramore, just things that I like from series that I like, with things like that.
Keith?
Yeah, so when I'm actually writing, I don't like to listen to music that has lyrics. So I'll usually put on like jazz or some meditation music, that kind of thing, just so that I can focus. Because I have a tendency that if I'm writing and listening to music with words, sometimes I'll start writing out the lyrics of what I'm listening to. So just to avoid that completely, I put on, classical music or jazz or meditation music, whatever. But sometimes to get into the mood for writing, depending on what I plan on working on or whatever the scene is about to be, I'll listen to like Kanye West or what else, like Nipsey Hussle, Big Sean, Meek Mill, like that real motivating music. Especially like if I'm getting ready to get into like an action scene or something like that. Like that's definitely the music I kind of want to put on. And I'm working on putting together a playlist of music that inspires the sound that I want my anime to have when I finally get one. So like that's gonna have like some tracks from Watch the Throne on it. Abe, I think you're familiar with Kamasi Washington,
Yes,
but some songs from him on there. Yeah, just because I'll be listening to the songs and I'll be like, okay, this is the kind of music that I want my anime to have when I finally get one. Like, so I'm putting together a playlist of things that like, this is what I want my OST to sound like when I start putting my OST together. And I like very like kind of jazzy, like, but also kind of like boom, hit you in the face type music. So yeah, like definitely like the first 5 tracks of Watch the Throne, it's like, yes, that's what I want. So
oh yeah, for anybody who's not familiar with Kamasi Washington, if you just love jazz, Kamasi, he's relatively new. Like, it's not like an old school jazz artist. He's a youngin'. He's around
definitely
our age.
Contemporary.
Yeah, contemporary. And I chanced upon him because every now and then I like to just put on a jazz playlist from Spotify. When I'm in the mood of like, hey, I need to focus, especially I need to like get studious kind of. And then I heard a track from Kamasi Washington. I'm like, oh, this one, it stood out so much. So then I was like, all right, let me go exploring this. Man, if you love jazz, Kamasi Washington is definitely someone you should listen
dope.
to. Yeah,
he's real dope.
Yeah, he is.
A guy that I work with put me on to him maybe a month or two ago, and I wouldn't everything that's on Apple Music, I was like, add.
Yeah, he got hits, yo. It really just fills the room, fills your space, however you like to consume your music, whether through headphones, through speakers, through sound system. It's strong. His music is strong. It really sets the tone. So the fact that you plan to have him on your playlist for anime, I already know that joint gonna be busting. That joint gonna be, oh my god. All right, I can't wait. So whenever you drop that playlist, slot it.
Yeah, I definitely got you. I gotta stop being, because I have the tracks in mind. I just gotta stop being lazy and actually make the playlist. But yeah, once I make it, I definitely got you.
All right, say that.
So, Keith, there are some questions I want to ask you within, for you personal. So I want to start with, who is your GOAT mangaka?
Yoshihiro Tagashi. That's my guy. That's who I model all of my writing after him. Like he's probably writing style wise, he's probably my biggest inspiration, I'd say.
So in that case, I guess I should share this knowledge. Me and Keith have a major disagreement when it comes to this topic of Hunter versus Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. So fans,
tread lightly.
We will save that from a different episode.
Yeah, because
we will save that. We will save that in a different episode. I promise. I promise. I'll have a whole schedule in.
Keith and I have disagreements about it, but me and Steve, we really don't be seeing eye to eye when it comes to the topic of Hunter and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. So, since Hunter has been thrown out there several times already today, I just wanted to share that fact that me and him, we don't see eye to eye when it comes to that. It's dope that's Tagashi inspires you, because it shows in Black Lotus. I have my copy down below with my other manga and whatnot, which is so dope. Although I think I need to change it from the manga pile to my comic pile, which I will end up doing.
I still have to finish that, because I remember you sent us out like a whole PDF file, I think, of Black Lotus, and I read like 2 pages of it, but I haven't got a chance to finish that now.
It's great.
Because
It's definitely a different theme I've never expected with Western world, with Westworld, with kung fu and everything like that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's what I was going for. Something that was like familiar but also very different. So.
Yeah. Because when we had you on Inside the Mind of a Blurred, and we interviewed you and Brandon, I had said then, like, the artwork of Black Lotus Dragon was so flames. And then for you to send us Afterimage, I was like, oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a new level that can be hit. I was already in awe and excited. And then it's like, hey, that ain't nothing. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. Just be coming with hits after hits. Like, hey, so definitely, for those who haven't checked out Black Lotus Dragon, check that out. Check it out. It won't be a waste of your time at all. It's so far.
So I guess the next question would be, how long should we wait for chapter 2
of Black Lotus Dragon?
Yes.
So we are definitely dropping that next year.
Okay.
Which month? I'm not all the way sure yet. I'm hoping we'll agree on it at latest before summer. But we're working on a couple things right now, and we want some things to kind of drop alongside with it. So it's finished. I will tell you that chapter 2 is finished.
Nice.
So we're kind of just sitting on it to see what we want to drop along with it. But I'm hoping for first quarter of next year. So probably I'm hoping for not that long after Afterimage number 2 drops.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, we're definitely planning something special to drop, as part of Black Lotus Dragon Chapter 2. So,
bet.
yeah, that's kind of what's taking so long, but it's definitely it's ready to go. We're just figuring out what we're gonna do around it.
Yeah, JB, I'm not kidding when I say like for careful for spoilers. The Concept Moon has some hits. They got some genres we can definitely spend time highlighting on the platform, especially for our comic recommendations and whenever we want to do reviews. They
Say
won't
less,
be
bro.
disappointed, JB.
Say
Yeah,
less.
I appreciate that.
We can't wait for the future. But speaking of the future, what do you want to see 5 years from now for Concept Moon Studios?
5 years from now, I'm hoping we've got a full slate of titles out, all with multiple issues. 5 years, I'm hoping we'll be in the process, at least in the process of working on getting some animation out.
Nice.
Getting turning some of our titles into TV shows, talking to whoever, Netflix, Crunchyroll, whoever wants to come talk to us. But we want to be we definitely want to be in the TV streaming space. I absolutely think, if not all of our titles, at least a couple of them deserve to be seen as animated series. So
Netflix, y'all can approach, but please give them creative control. Like if you're gonna do like y'all did Castlevania, for sure pull up. But if y'all gonna do like y'all did Record of Ragnarok, please stay away.
Because it's sad because
Get Powerhouse Studios.
No, literally, I love Powerhouse because I think what's it called? There's this one series with like all the characters are like obviously references from like DC. I have the comic, but like they're supposed to come out with an animated series on Quibi, but Quibi got like destroyed, whatever. So they had to cancel the series.
Quibi was short-lived as hell.
Man,
oh my God.
but like the series, I was excited for because like the comic's really good. The name's escaping me, but same black creator, black character, superheroes, but it got canceled. So creative control is 100% important, and I hope you guys do that with, because a lot, like you said, these series I can easily see be animated or even live action, like The Boys, what have you, because like it's just and that's how lively these characters are. When you whether animated or live action, it can work either or. So I'm excited for you guys.
Yeah, we our plan is to maintain as much creative control as we can. I know a lot of these studios kind of they want to take 100% of the rights from you in a way, well, not really in a way, but when you sell it to them, they want to own it completely. And that's not what we want to do. We still want to own our IPs. And whoever works with us, they can, co-produce or whatever, but we still want to retain the rights to our stuff. And if that relationship falls apart, we don't want to be in production hell because you still own our stuff. If the relationship falls apart, we want to be able to walk to somebody else with our same stuff and get it done the way it should get done.
That patent pending, patent it and everything.
Yeah. We don't want anyone else to own our properties. Our properties belong to us.
But like,
amen to that.
Yeah, I would rather wait more years to own my shit than just to give it away to someone else.
Agreed.
Right.
So since you said like you would like to have anime, like the series in Concept Moon to have an anime, which one do you want to have an anime first?
Well, being completely biased, I would love to see Black Lotus Dragon.
Of course. I don't blame you.
We here for that. We stand that.
Yes.
I was just gonna say like, yo, choose wisely.
And then, but outside of my own, I would love to see the Outlaws get animated first. To be honest, that's probably, and I love all of our series. Obviously, don't get me wrong, I love all of our series, but the Outlaws is my next favorite series. That's not of my own creation. So If I was to leave out mine, I would say the Outlaws for sure.
So I know with businesses and studios, they have to make tough decisions and choices and stuff. What is the toughest decision that you had to make for Concept Moon Studios?
Man, I haven't run into a super tough decision just yet. I would say the hardest is probably, I would say sitting on series that I'm like ready to release. We have a series from a close friend of mine that her first chapter is finished. She sent it to us and everything, and we're kind of sitting on it. And it's very tough for me because I want to put it out like right now. Like if it was up to me, I'll be like, okay, let's drop it right now. But we're trying to be strategic about it. So we've been sitting on it for a little bit, and it will be coming out next year. I will say that for sure. But it's one of those things that we're thinking of dropping alongside Black Lotus Dragon Chapter 2. So it's like, we have to make sure when we drop stuff, it's the right timing. It's not running into timeline wise, it's not running into maybe another project or even another indie creators project, because we're indie creators and we know how it can go. We try not to drop at the same time as other indie creators so that they can get that attention on their project. We don't want to take away from them. And we know, people try to support indie all over, but if you've got 3 indie projects dropped at the same time, we try to make it so that people don't have to choose. We space it out so that, if this person over here is dropping, they can drop theirs, get their full attention, and it will drop.
I could see that. It's so like none of us can like steal each other's like the fandom and population kind of thing.
Right.
But
that's considerate.
Because we promote
that's
other
being
creators
considerate,
as well.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me, I'm not that considerate, but it's good. I'm not in charge of decisions like that.
But then like it's not like it's like you have to choose which side you want to, but you could still read all 3 of them,
right,
like from the whole entire series. And I would definitely say like consistency works really well for anything with business, and you want to give out the product into a consistent content. Like with manga, with Shonen Jump, they come out every Sunday, or sometimes takes a break, but there's a new chapter of manga series that comes out, or either monthly or bi-weekly, and they keep a whole tight schedule and everything, and it actually really helps with not just the algorithm of everything, all of it, but as well as like it's consistent. People have something to look forward to onto the series. It's you don't have to wait too long of it. It also like tightens up the space of delay time, where like if it goes off months ahead for the new chapter, it doesn't put away the idea of the series. Like I remember the series, I read this, let me come back to this and like read it, and like I remember chapter 1, I can't wait for chapter 2. It's the consistency of it all for a manga series and story for sure.
Yeah, and even like using Shonen Jump as an example again, I don't know if you guys remember the old physical versions of Shonen Jump, but
yes, I found one of the old comic stuff.
Samuel's about to flex on us real quick.
Oh, I have one. I have one too. I have one with Bleach on the cover that my friend bought for me. It's somewhere deep in my closet. I can't. It's somewhere deep. I don't want to go through that right now.
Right, but the order is not always the same. They will put the more popular ones towards the front, the ones that were kind of falling off a little bit towards the end, but the new series are also towards the front, to give that attention to the new series, and then you get into the series that you're familiar with, so that's kind of the way that we approach it too, is like you want to give people you know, what they're waiting for, but also if we're introducing something new, or even someone else is introducing something new, you want to drive that attention to that. You don't necessarily want to take away, because you know that if they like it, they'll come to the series that they're looking for, but you also want them to go to that new series. So it's a little bit of a balancing act. Look at that.
Oh, we got that one. Dang.
Hey. Look at Sir Samuel the manga man. That's his name
I
for a reason.
remember in the earlier episodes, I have a whole entire collection of these. dating back into like 2003, 2004.
Because it used to be where you could literally like order them in to your house.
Yeah.
Like, you know, back then. Because
those are my Scholastic stuff. That's what I look forward to, those Scholastics.
Man, I there was this comic book shop that had a whole bunch of old like Shonen Jump just books laying around for cheap. Like they had the Shaman King one. I was like, oh my gosh. I moved from it, but I'm like, that was such a nice little thing to have.
For $30, you get a whole 12-month subscription.
Yeah. Back in subscriptions was a thing. Oh my god. Like,
right. They
I mean,
mail
they
them to your
still
house.
are.
Well, they are but for like books and stuff, like you know, like
Right.
magazines.
Making us sound old.
But we still care about magazines.
I am still young.
Bro, because then when I had it was like you could like send in something for like a bleach. One of the bleach is like color books or whatever like that. And I was like, wow, back when you used to mail things in to get prices.
I mean, like I do love the books and series, especially where you have one chapter of every content on Shonen Jump, as well as like some behind the scenes, some the mangaka's comments. You have like a whole interview of them for the chapter, and these things are like once a month, which gives them a lot of like time to work on their mangas, as well as being interviewed, have it literally issued out. I think they still have physical copies in Japan, but in the States, not anymore. Everything became
you have to order them
digital.
like you have to order them on certain sites to get all of that.
But definitely, like I do like how Constant Moon does their magazines, literally like exactly like Shonen Jump used to be. Even though it's not like digital is the way it is right now at this time, it's still fine, absolutely. You still get a taste of everybody's creative aspects of their own stories onto all-in-one magazine book, as well as their thoughts, backstories, and inspirations of an idea of what's to come in future chapters of the entire series.
Yeah, and then you get to know the author a little bit too. That's and I think that's a big part, because people want to relate to, you know, whoever's creating the content that they're consuming, at least right now, you know. So yeah, I like the content, but do I like the creator as well? That's kind of where things seem to be headed, and where things are kind of at right now. So it's like, that's you know, true. when you can put that kind of writer's notes, or you know, notes from the author or the editor or whatever in something, that's definitely always a plus for your audience, for sure.
I mean, like for sure. So, like we're now in the era where don't meet your heroes.
Right.
So I'm gonna push the next question. What made you decide to partner with Constant Moon Studios compared to doing onto Webtoons side or other indie Black Manga Studios like Noir Cesar?
It's kind of been a little bit of an interesting story how I kind of linked up with Concept Moon. So man, I had started writing a manga, and at the time I was planning on self-publishing. And then Noir Cesar, actually, they did a contest for submissions. And I didn't want to submit to them my original story just because I didn't know how things would go as far as, you know, the rights and that kind of thing if I was to win the contest. So I created a new story, submitted that to them. I didn't win.
It's okay.
So I kept working on the story. So now I've got 2 stories that I'm working on. And around the time I had started listening to Black Anime podcast, and they actually had Brandon come on as a guest. And that was my first introduction to Concept Moon. And after listening to that episode, I hit up Mike and I was like, "Hey, Mike, I was listening to you guys' episode. Can you link me with this Brandon guy? Because I've been trying to work on, my own company, and I figure it's probably better for us to work together than for us to be competition with each other." So Mike linked us, and I gave Brandon a call. Me and him chopped it up for a little bit, and I was like, "Hey, I have a story that I'm working on, but I also have a little bit of experience in marketing. I could help you guys, if you're open to it." And he was open to it. He was kind of handling most of the business stuff on his own. We do have another partner, the other co-founder of Concept Moon, Corey Lewis, but he's active military, so he puts in his input when he can. He's the writer of Frontline Soldiers, one of our stories. But since he's active military, he's fairly limited in what he can do. And then Brandon also, right? And Brandon also at the time, and even still now, he's working overseas in Saudi Arabia. So me being in the States, it kind of was perfect timing when I reached out to him. He was like, "Yeah, if you can help us out, you're stateside, you can, go to, that's where our market's at anyway. You can go to events, you can, do whatever we need to get done." And yeah, ever since then, it's been history, I guess.
That's so dope. Like, it really speaks to the work ethic of Brandon and the writer of Frontline Soldiers. You said Corey?
Corey, yeah.
Corey and Brandon, like, they're overseas. I know, like you mentioned, Brandon's in Saudi Arabia right now. Like, the time zones. I remember we talked to Brandon before. He's like, man, he got alarm clocks for all the different time zones because of how widespread Concept Moon is. Like, you have people in the States, you have people all over the world. Shout out to Yase, in Germany. Appreciate her, love her.
Love Yase. That's my dog.
Yeah, it's just like, y'all really, really have to grind. Y'all have different schedules that y'all have to adhere to, and it means so much to be able to see that. Again, that's why I'm so amazed by the top quality content of your project so far, because it's not as if, hey, all of you are in one place in the States, y'all don't have to worry about different time zones. Y'all are communicating across borders. Like, I don't think people understand just how complicated that is. Like, hey, when you have an idea, it may be 7 p.m. PST for you, but it could be 5 a.m. in the morning for Brandon. And it's like, oftentimes you'll think there'll be a lot of lost communication. But you guys do such a great job with it. And I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the work ethic of all of you. And it's so dope how you came to join Concept Moon, and how, stateside, you're really holding the torch for them. You're really getting them exposure, because I know you were at some recent cons this past 6 months, just doing what you can, and it's so dope out in the LA area for sure, and down at in Texas. Really, really hyped for all the stuff you got in store for the future cons coming up. Speaking of which, will you be at Anime NYC in November?
So I won't be at Anime NYC. I'm trying to get to Anime Pasadena, which is a more local con. We'll for sure be at DreamCon again next year. We're gonna try to get a booth this time. But next year we're looking at hitting some bigger cons, some that aren't local to me. So probably DreamCon, looking at Dragon Con, hopefully Anime NYC next year.
If you can for Anime NYC, hit us up.
Oh yeah, definitely will. Definitely will.
Hey, I think Dragon Con near me. So that's like
that's Atlanta.
Yeah.
So, and I would love to get to a con in Atlanta. So
Hey, come out.
that'll,
I mean,
that'll
I'm new
definitely be a
here,
good
so.
time.
Hey, Spicy already running shit for ATL. Trust me.
So
I haven't left the house.
I wanted to ask this from your perspective. How was the recruitment process with Concept Moon, like for writers and I guess as well as for the artists as well?
So when I got to Concept Moon, we actually had the artist on staff already.
Mm.
So that had already been handled before I got here. As far as the writers, my series I write myself.
Mm.
Brandon has started to branch out and grab writers because he has so many series that he's created at this point that it's like, him trying to write all of them on his own would just be a really difficult task. So he reaches out to writers that he likes, that he's familiar with, that he's seen work from, and he makes he's the one that usually makes that connection with him, because I write my series, Corey writes his series, and Brandon, because he has so many, he's gotten to a point where, like, he'll structure out the series and then bring in a writer to do the actual writing of it. So yeah, that's he handles the third party writers, I guess you would call them, or the writers for hire, I guess you could say.
Is it?
Because I'm mainly the marketing guy. I do the promotional stuff. I handle the social media posts, that kind of thing.
Right. Was it also hard to recruit artists as well? Like, since there's so many series and you need a lot of artists to be able to put in the time and work for everybody else's series, was that also a struggle as well, or are most of these writers are also independent artists?
So the artists are the artists and writers are separate. We have 3 artists on staff that handle most of our books. Muhammad, who's the one who did Afterimage, he also does Frontline Soldiers, and he also did our book Freefall Gods. And then we have Copy Workshop, who's a team of 2, and they do our more manga art style books. So they did Black Lotus Dragon, they do the Outlaws, they do Sun Eaters, and we just schedule our books so that it's not too taxing on them. But
Right.
those 3 are actually our main artists. They do all of our books. We do have a concept artist that the company started with, who's based in Nigeria.
Hey, Omo Naija, Omo Naija.
And he was part of the company before I got there, and he did all of the initial character designs and all of that. And he's kind of he hasn't done as much just because life does life things.
We
and
understand.
he has other things going on, but he's definitely still part of the company. But yeah, on the art side, most of the stuff had been already kind of handled before I got here. And I do always keep an eye out for artists in case, the guys that we have on staff aren't able to do something and we need a new artist. So I kind of have a list of artists that I keep in the tuck that I can reach out to. Or sometimes we'll have people do pinups or like one-off illustrations. And we have people that we go to for that. But for the most part, we keep the art stuff in-house. And, they've been doing an amazing job so far. So as long as they're with us, I'm sure we probably, unless we start really producing like crazy, we probably won't need to bring in too many new artists. So
Cool. Definitely very cool. I actually want to bring this up just as more, it's like a little bit random idea, but also like a in a way of preference with people. So would you actually want to write a war arc? That with like there's other series where like they choose the biggest arc of themselves and making a whole entire war sequence. Like I'm gonna throw in like with One Piece. There's also with My Hero Academia, like a lot of shonen stuff, and they do. Everybody had their own preference of a war arc. Would you like to write one? And how would you go at it? How would you go of it?
Absolutely. I'm actually planning. It won't be a huge war arc like One Piece or My Hero, but I'm planning somewhat of a war arc in Black Lotus Dragon. Which I not to give too much away, but Old West California, things get kind of wild. You've got the U.S. government doing things, and you've got
already hooked.
and you got indigenous people from California that were here before California was a state who had their own things. You had people who wanted California to be like an independent republic who have their own agenda. So absolutely planning a war arc for Black Lotus Dragon. I think it'll be a little crazy. I like war arcs.
War is crazy. War is crazy.
Yeah. I like war arcs because there's so much action. And even just the lead up to the war arc is usually really good storytelling. And you peak with the actual fighting. And usually what I like about what My Hero did with their war arc is I like that they gave us My Villain Academia before going into the war arc, because you get a more in-depth look at the other side. So that's something that I plan to kind of grab from, is that you get a look at all sides before you get into the actual clash itself.
Perfect. Love it. The inspiration of it all. Like it's always fun, always the craziness of it all, but that's the whole entire point of a war arc. It's anything can happen, and
absolute anarchy.
For me, the lead ups are the best part, man. Like, you get all the action in the climax, but the lead up's really good. Like, that's what sets it off.
If you can write it where you feel empathy and sympathy for both sides, where both sides makes a very good point of why they're fighting.
Right.
Honestly, it makes you it's like that meme where it can have a whole entire wine bottle and literally in the cupboard. Like it makes a lot of it makes like a lot of sense.
I like the fights with how they develop the characters. How even in the midst of all the chaos, some characters get like a conclusion, within the middle of a fight. Others still have a long ways to go. So I like those different aspects within the umbrella of the whole war arcs that go on.
Yeah, and I like war arcs because you never know which characters you're going to lose in a war arc. Also, there's always that anxiety of like, shit, who's going to die? And then someone that you love dies, and you're like, did they really die, or is this just fake? And it's like, did they fake die or did they really die? And they're like, oh my god, they really died.
And it might be the worst way ever.
Yeah.
Or like Spicy was alluding to with Shibuya, there might be those characters that are like, yo,
they really
like
died?
they might as well be dead because it don't look too well for them at the moment. Like, don't be like, hey, yeah, they still have a chance, and then they disappear for a couple arcs, or you mention like, yeah, they didn't make it. It's like, you could have just told me that initially.
Or where them like comes back and it's like, yo, I'm a whole different person. It's like, yes. Yes.
Or like they're still alive. They're just in the ICU in a coma and just.
Yeah. I love those. I feel like those are the best because it's like you did your job, Aizawa.
They just nothing. Sleeping,
You did what you needed to do.
Damn.
Sorry.
Or my personal favorite is like a Kame got killed where everyone dies.
Which
So,
isn't
you know.
canon. But yeah. Watching that was like, what is going on? Everything was what is this?
No
oh
one
my
wins.
God, you're killing everybody.
No one wins. Even the main character gone too. Like, dang. Crazy.
Manga is different from that, but yeah, but still
Yeah,
completely.
completely.
But
Yeah,
it's messed up. Both of them is very. Messed up.
I didn't
I
mind
still
it
need
because
to go
it's
read
a
that manga.
it's a little more realistic. Like, not every hero makes it out just because they're the hero.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes.
Oh
they
yeah,
have to
that's
make those
fine. But
sacrifices.
literally nobody lives.
But it was the reason.
Nobody lives.
It was the
Akame
reason.
lives.
It was the reason Kame got killed. It was that
Barely.
circumstance that happened where I was like, really? If I can't have, no one else can. Like, really? Is that what we're going with? Come on, like, okay.
Yo, look, heroes die every day, B. You know how it is. Ain't nobody make it out.
So you want them to die so that we remember them
Look.
as heroes?
Look,
No,
look,
are we
watching What If?
are we living in that like
you
either
would
die a
rather go out
hero?
on top, right?
You have to die a
Yeah.
hero, and stay
Die
alive,
on
and
the
find a
shield.
hero, villains.
Gotta
Die
make
on the
room.
shield.
Sometimes you gotta die, make room for the next
Alright.
next gen to do something.
Crowding
What
up the
next
space.
gen? What
Crowding up the
next
space.
gen?
How inconsiderate! Come on now, move on for the next generation. You.
All Might.
Oh God!
I'm joking.
Hashtag All Might's dying soon.
No, he's not. He's not. I feel like All Might's never gonna die. He's just
Now
gonna
Ray
run
for
around.
to cuss me out if I actually hashtag that. Ray, I'm not serious. Like
Mike.
50%, 51%, not serious.
Stop. He's a butler now. He's not gonna die. He's Alfred.
Yeah.
He's
Speak on
He
it,
is
Keith.
Alfred.
Speak on it, Keith. Repeat that one more time for the
He's
people in the back. What you say,
dad.
Keith?
He's
What you say, Keith?
I must be in the back because I didn't hear what you said.
Man,
Oh,
All Might should have been dead if we being honest.
I mean, like I'm quoting what Ray. I'm quoting Ray for this one. Technically, All Might did die.
Yes, true.
Just
Symbol of peace.
semantics.
Technically.
True.
Just
Oceanary
But
does
he's
not. He
symbol.
does not need to die.
Yeah, I personally felt he should have died in the fight with All For One. Like if he defeats All For One but dies in the process, like I
That's
feel
what
like
I've seen.
that would have been perfect.
If you were gonna get rid of All Might, that was the moment. Since it
Yeah.
didn't happen,
Yeah.
it's not happening.
Yeah.
Especially with how they
Toshi's not dying, bro.
Especially with how they revealed how All Might is important to Deku being like the only, the last
Mhm.
successor.
But here's the thing.
I like
Right.
that was nice. Okay, so that's why he's been
Y'all
trying to go
forget-
along all this
Y'all
time.
forget Horikoshi loves his Western comics.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He will, if he deems it necessary, he will do.
Yeah.
If he takes a break and is doing a whole entire research purposes,
Oh, man.
he's buying Marvel or DC comics collections
That's-
and he's reading through.
That's how I feel with Gege with this like little Fight Club arc. Him taking a break, coming back. He probably watched a lot of American movies. It was like, oh, that'd be dope. Put that in there.
I feel like we already find that out reference during like the first season of JJK in general.
Oh
when-
yeah, how he puts it into like the
How you want to
first
train?
scene.
Okay, watch all these movies while you're
Yeah.
like you're just there's this now like
love that.
practice your energy and your curse technique while watching movie in concentration, and then you literally see all the movies on this set.
So
Like,
different,
yeah,
and obviously usually being a huge movie buff, like I love that. But yeah, I like the little details like that like Horikoshi and Gege do with like their love for movies or comics. So that was cool.
I mean they threw a curveball at us. We thought that guy from the opening was gonna live throughout. Next thing you know, we're all the sad boy.
Man, when that happened, I was like, "Damn, they really gonna do this?"
The
And then
biggest
when they
lie.
did it, I was like,
The biggest lie.
"Wow, all right, next."
So I'm gonna come back with another question at the moment. For Keith, which inspired you more, Marvel or DC? It doesn't matter with comic, movie. I mean, for everything in general.
Mm, man, honestly, both. Um, it's hard to pick one because I love how dark DC can get. Um, and like like I told you guys before we started recording, I'm learning the comic stuff that's in actual comics. I've always been like big for as far as like TV stuff, but being actually in the comics is kind of a new thing for me. So, but I know with TV shows and with movies, Marvel typically doesn't go as dark as DC sometimes will go. Um, but I love but I'm okay with that from Marvel. Like I love their lighter stuff. I love their action sequences. I love their characters, especially like a Peter Parker where you get, he's struggling with being a teenager as well as also struggling with being a superhero. It's not just him being a superhero. So I love what Marvel brings with that, and then I also love the darkness that DC brings. So it's hard to pick between the two just because both have had an influence.
Love it. I think this will be the last question for the night, and then we can just all like put on the contents and stuff. How many chapters have you written, like on the side, like for Black Lotus Dragon?
So fully written out, I actually only have 3 chapters, to be honest. But I've been planning out my arcs and stuff. And I have about 10 arcs written to do. Some of them I'm debating if I want to actually do those arcs or not. But I definitely have 10 arcs for sure, at least of things that I want to work with and get to eventually. So, yeah, I typically don't start writing until I'm ready to start the script. So I'll write out like kind of a long synopsis of what I want that chapter to be, and then I'll take that and script it out. But for the most part, when I'm working on it, I'm just working on arc structure because I can connect the dots, no problem. Sometimes it's just the ideas for me. So I'll plan the arcs out so that I have the ideas.
Awesome. Well, guys, I think we can wrap it up here. Can you guys, Keith, can you please give us your plugs?
Yeah. So conceptmoon.com, Concept Moon on Instagram and Twitter, Concept Moon Studios on Facebook. You can follow me personally at Strange Keith on Twitter and Strange Keith CM on Instagram. And yeah, that's about it. October 1st, Afterimage Kickstarter drops. I'm hoping next week we'll have a what's it called? The pre-link for that, because sometimes with Kickstarter you can do a pre-link so people can pledge before the Kickstarter is even live if they want to. So yeah, definitely be on the lookout for that. But yeah, October 1st.
Can't wait for that. Spicy, James? Plugs?
Spicy.
Okay. Yeah, guys, y'all can follow me on Twitter, Spicy Lady ENT, Instagram, Spicy Lady Entertainment, Twitch, Spicy Lady Gaming. I'll be streaming tomorrow and Saturday actually. And follow me, yeah, because podcast currently on hiatus, YouTube hiatus. But check out my screen rant articles. I retweet them, so go check them out, have fun, let me know what y'all think.
James?
Yeah, definitely go and check those out. You can find me all over social media at JB Exclusive. You can find me. You can also find Abe and Steve that's in the chat right now. You can find us tomorrow on Seafirst Villains episode 35. We'll be talking about what if Killmonger rescued Tony Stark. We'll also be talking some movie news. We're going to be talking about the new Penguin series that was announced that they'll be doing on HBO Max. Christopher Nolan's demands for his new World War II epic. So got a lot of stuff we'll be talking about in tomorrow's show. So see you there.
So guys, I know Abe left early, but you could always find him at Prince Allah on Twitter, and Inside the Mind of the Blur podcast and everything. You can always follow Anime Lately on the YouTube channel, the podcast, everything else where you can find all everything links and all down there in the description down below. Remember to like the video, also subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are trying to have our subscribe count up a little bit, at least hope until the end of the year we have a good maybe 3K, maybe 3.5K, who knows. We would love to sure. Thank you guys for tuning in, to listening in. Thank you, Keith, for joining in to the podcast, man.
Yeah, man. Thank
you
so
guys so
here.
much for having me. Thank you so much for having me. Like this has been such a fun talk. I really appreciate you guys letting me come on and just shoot the shit, honestly. So
yeah, man, appreciate
really
you. We got to get you back.
Yeah, we definitely need you back.
Yes.
Definitely it'd be great if you have Brandon come in, or anybody from the team to come in. We would love to hear from them and talks, of course. It was a pleasure to have you onto the podcast team, and love your insight and talk.
Yes.
All right, guys.
Happy to be here.
All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoy the show, listening to the podcast, anything. Remember to give us 5 stars on the iTunes. And if you give us 5 stars, we will shout you out onto the podcast live. And if you were to give us 1 star, we will roast. The entire team will roast your ass entire time. Try me. I'll do it.
Sam.
Try me.
It's all this energy coming from.
Try me. I mean, it's late night for us, so it's spicy. But thank you guys. All right. Have a good night, guys. Peace.